Okay, here we are with the latest update on our Troy-Bilt tiller. You saw me put the transmission back together, and I told you I wasn't going to show you me painting it because I'm not a good painter, and I've proven that to myself. But here we are. She got it all back together except for the depth regulator, which goes underneath here. A little bar that goes underneath there. We'll get to that in a minute. But I had the hood back here, the sides re-welded because they were broken loose. I bought some new decals for it, stuck them on. I think they did pretty good. Could have been better, but it was pretty good. Got my tires on, got them painted. Got the shifting arm back in there. And you can see there the little detent lever. I don't know what you call that thing. I didn't paint that. I did clean it up, but it hasn't been painted yet. The motor I'm not going to paint right now. It does runs good, but I'm not sure how it's going to do under a load. I think it'll do all right, and it was just going to be more than what I wanted to do to it right now, because for me to paint it I was going to want to take the thing completely apart pretty well and get it all painted and degreased. But for now I just want to get her working where I put her in the garden. I do have a carburetor kit for it. I'm going to go ahead and put a carburetor kit in it, and I got a new air filter for it. I did change the oil, and as you can see I put a extended oil drain spout right there to get it out away from that base on the engine. I don't know how well that shows up, but I have my reverse disc in there, and that did real well. So got a new throttle cable on it. The other one was rusted, and right up in here was worn pretty bad. Had a lot of slop in it, so I bought a new cable to put on it. Not bad. Hopefully I'll be able to get her over to the garden the next day or two. Take you in here and show you a little bit about the depth regulator bar. The original one that was on it was, well, let me find it, was worn fairly severely. And get this out here where you can see it. And I don't know how well that shows up, but you can see the weld all the way down to there. That was all the metal that was left, and it just left a great big old void in there. So I took my MIG welder and I decided to fill her back in. I got her filled in pretty good, and I was fairly happy with that until I noticed that instead of, you follow the line, instead of coming out and continuing up like that, it feathered back off. And what had happened was, as I was welding, it pulled that metal down, and as you can tell, it's pretty well, it's not exactly straight, but it's almost straight, and that's not what we want. It should have been back up. Oh, can't get my finger up there. Anyhow, it should have been probably back up to where the tiller is. So I had to make a new one. This one's 1/4 inch. I didn't have any 1/4 inch material. I did have some of this 1/2 inch material. So I took that, laid it out with what I thought that should be, cut a V out right there, bent it, welded it back up, drilled my holes at both ends, and now I got the first coat of paint on it. I'll give her about an hour and I'll put another coat of paint on it, and then we'll be ready to stick that on there. In the meantime, I got to work on cleaning my bench up. Had a few other projects come along, so I got to get the bench cleaned up, and then I'll get the carburetor taken off and we'll tear that apart. And there's something I want to show you about a Tecumseh carburetor. I learned back when I was in high school working at a small engine repair shop. The guy showed me, had one that was hard to start, and he showed me a common fix for it, and I'll pass that on to you here in a minute when I get the carburetor tore off, and we'll see if this one has that issue. So for right now, that's all I can think of. Stay tuned for more. Hopefully I'll get the carburetor segment put in here, and then we'll put her in the garden, put her to work. That's all for now. Alright, I got the carburetor off the Tecumseh engine there. Got it tore apart. You can see she's pretty dirty. Yep, she could use a good cleaning. I took it off before I even started this project and cleaned it out a little bit. You can see that's pretty bad. The float was all gummed up, stuck and everything. There was a bunch of varnish in the bottom of this bowl. There's still a little bit in there, nowhere near as much as it was. And I've got everything tore out of it. And I got a bucket of carburetor cleaner. I'm going to put this in and let it soak for a little while and scrub it with a brush. But the thing I wanted to show you here, Tecumsehs are sometimes notably hard to start. And I was telling you what I learned when I was in high school at a small engine machine repair shop. The guy showed me, he said the little tube right there, you can see it in the bottom of that bore through the carburetor, in the bottom of the throat. That is your fuel pickup tube. Comes right there, and that picks the fuel up for the engine. That's your main jet, main metering valve, I guess you call it. But as you can see, it is not up dead center with that bore through there. And that is where you want them. If imagine drawing a line, like a crosshair on a scope maybe, right across the dead center of that bore. And that's where you want the top of that tube to be. You want it right in the center to get the maximum flow, the maximum velocity of air across there to get the fuel picked up. And I didn't believe him at the time. I had one that was real hard to start, so I rebuilt the carburetor on it. Took it back off, punched that tube, take a drift punch, put it on the bottom, and punch that until it comes up to the center. And then I put her back together, 2 starts, running. Run like a champ. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll try to get you set up on a tripod. But basically I'm going to set it like that, take a punch, put it right in there, and tap it gently until I can see where by eyeball that it's up there in the center. So we'll see if that works. Alright, got you a pretty good view there. Just look over here and get my hammer. Alright, now we're going to take this punch right here and try to get it nice and flat on the bottom of that. You don't want to distort it and mess it up. Just give her a couple of light taps. Let's see what that looks like. I'm just going to need some more. I have to bring it out here on the edge of the table because I got that spring for the choke in the way. Let's see here. There you go. A little more. It is moving though. Felt it move that time. Yep. A little more. You would think that as much as it takes to get it to move, that it wouldn't drop down, but over the years of vibration, over the years with vibration and heat and everything, it does have a tendency to drift down a little bit, and that can make them hard to start. Be careful not to go too far because you don't have anything up here where you can drive it back down. If anything, err on the side of caution and leave it a little low. And I'm right to the point where I should probably, probably go a little bit more, but I'm afraid of going too far, so I'm going to leave her right where she's at. And we'll give you a shot here. Flip her back around. There she is, back up to the center. And you can kind of use the bolt holes on either side to gauge it. Yeah, that's pretty close. I'm going to leave her right there. And that was the tip that I wanted to show you. So when we get her all cleaned up, put her back together, we'll see if it starts easy. Alright, a couple years ago I bought this gallon can of gunk carburetor and parts cleaner. I don't know how well that shows up on there, but anyhow, years ago when I was in high school in auto mechanics, we had a 5-gallon can of it, and I think it was made by Gunk, and it was carburetor and parts cleaner, and you could take the lid off of that and the fumes would almost knock you out. Since then, EPA and other people have come out with VOC, volatile organic components or compounds or something like that. Anyhow, they started making everything VOC friendly, and it says right here, environmentally responsible. Products have been formulated to reduce or eliminate adverse environmental characteristics. This product contains no ozone depleters, no chlorinated solvents, no phenols, no acrylistics, and is non-corrosive. That means instead of 10 minutes in here, you need 24 hours. So that's just a little note that I want to put on there. You used to be able to dump a carburetor in there, swish the basket around, 10 minutes later, pull it out. It looked like it came right out of the factory box. Now you got to soak it in there, swish it around, scrub it, pull it out, soak it for a little while longer, and it takes about 24 hours to do the same work. So that's just my little spiel on how the EPA has done parts cleaners, but I guess it is for the best, help protect our environment.